welcome to my channel. My name is Katie and today I'm sharing with you this Harvest Right freeze dryer and I'm going to show you how to set yours up. And also we're going to do the first run with the freeze dryer to cleanse out all of the noxious manufactured smells that might be in there. So if you have one of these or if you're thinking about getting one of these, make sure you watch this video the whole way through. You will learn everything you need to know to set up your Harvest Right freeze dryer. The first thing we want to do is unpack our Harvest Right freeze dryer and check it out to make sure everything is in order and that there is no damage. Once we have approved that everything is okay, we can unpackage it and get it all set. When you get your Harvest Right freeze dryer, you're going to want to have to go around and inspect it on all the points before you accept it. And so that's what we did. And it looks good. Then in the box of all the accessories that we got, we were given some Mylar bags, 8x12s. We were given all of the guide to freeze drying, all the information that we're gonna need, how to set it up, the home freeze dryer owner's manual. Then we were sent some silicone mats. We were also sent some oxygen absorbers, as well as this is the oil filter system for the Premier vacuum pump. Here is all the cords and tools, the hoses that will connect the vacuum pump to the Harvest Right freeze dryer. It comes with an impulse sealer to seal our Mylar bags. That is included. We've got the medium snap-on tray lids, as well as 2 packs of trays. We've got the original 5 trays with the machine and then a bonus pack of 5 trays so that we can pre-freeze our second round of food. So while we have one round of trays going, we can be pre-freezing our next round of trays. So that's everything we got in our accessory box. You want to make sure that you set your Harvest Right freeze dryer on a level surface and on a surface that you can easily load trays in and out of. My hope is to get a stainless steel table for this area so that I can have an area to place my trays as well as use the freeze dryer on a flat surface. So for now, I have it blocked up and in a position so that the hose can drain properly on the right side. And then on the left side over here, or this side, if I'm looking at it, it's my right side, we have a port over there and we are going to be connecting this Premier vacuum pump. So come along with me and we're going to unpackage this pump and set it up beside our freeze dryer. And we need to put oil in this pump and get it all ready to go. There's the manual for it. There we go. Nice and easy. All right. So I'm going to show you guys where I'm going to place this. Here is our vacuum pump, and all of the parts of the vacuum pump right here is where we will drain oil when we need to do that. Up here is the gas ballast valve, and we need to make sure that always remains open. If you do not have that open, it will damage your vacuum pump. So always make sure that is on the open. Back here is where we are going to connect our hose to this right here. So I've got to get these covers off and I will show you how to connect the hose. This is how your hose comes packaged. So we're just going to open this up and get it out. And your drain tube and your power plug also come in this package. So the last thing I'm going to do is plug in the power. The first thing I'm going to do is get all of our hoses and everything connected. So these come with little gaskets on the inside, and you're just going to, let's see, maybe this one will go here easier. There we go. And it doesn't matter which one goes where. I'm just basing it off the curl of these hoses, which one can go where, just by the nature of the hose. I'm sure it'll change as time goes on, it'll change its flex. So just make sure those are hand tight as you can get them. There we go. This plug from the vacuum pump is going to plug into the back of the freeze dryer. Back here on the back of the freeze dryer, we've got our power switch and our plug for our vacuum pump. So I'm going to plug in the vacuum pump here. And then we're also going to plug in the power cord there. Here we have the power cord, and I'm not going to connect it to the power yet. I just want to get this attached down there. And I also want to make sure that my power is off. And we'll turn that on once we are ready to go through all of that. So everything here is connected. The ballast is open. We do need to fill this up with oil. So to fill this up with oil, we are going to do this right here. But we don't fill it up all the way. We only fill it up to the halfway mark. And I will show you that. So we've opened up the top, and now we are going to add our oil there. You can use a funnel if you like. We are going to add the oil until it says it is halfway full. They provide enough oil for the first fill. Okay, there we go. It rises quickly. So once you start to see that oil, you want to stop it. Once you start to see it rise up in there, stop it quickly because it will overfill very fast. You only want half full in there. All right, I have just a little bit more oil left. And with this oil, you are gonna be filtering your oil every 20 to 30 freeze drying cycles. And they give you this oil filter to filter your oil so that you can remove the water from it. And it looks much like a Brita water filter. And when you need to drain your oil, what you will do is open up this valve, drain the oil into this container, and it will filter out the water for you. Then you will reuse your oil in this machine. And you can reuse the oil multiple times. And then when you need to get more oil, there are specific oils that you need to use for this machine. Be mindful of that. And if you notice your oil starting to get cloudy at all, change it. You don't wait for the 20 to 30 cycles. You just change it right away. So this is all set up and ready to go. The next thing we're going to do over here is set up the drain valve. And you can see the drain valve right here. And then I have a bucket here on the floor that I pull out. When I am ready to drain the ice from the Harvest Right freeze dryer, I will connect my hose and run this hose down into my bucket. But once we do that, we will then be able to open the valve and allow the water to escape. This is currently in the closed position because the valve handle is perpendicular to the tube. When you twist it this way, this is the open position, and that is how you will drain the water. Okay, so we need to make sure it is closed when we start our freeze drying session. I am now ready to plug this into a power outlet. So we are going to do that now. There we go. And we're going to turn the freeze dryer on via the switch on the back. So that is on. Once the screen pops up, this is the first time I'm using my freeze dryer, so I'm going to hit start. And that is starting up. The next thing we're going to do is select the type of pump. And I am using a Premier oil pump. And I want to reset pump hours. No, I want to save that. This starts the process and the vacuum chamber is going to start to cool. While that freeze dryer works on cooling, this is my makeshift workstation right now. And we've got our pans right here that we are going to load up with some bread. So our goal is to put a few pieces of this bread dipped in some vinegar water. So we're just going to quickly dip it in some vinegar water and plop it on our trays. And this is going to help take away any of the manufacturing smells that are in the freeze dryer. This bread is going to work to absorb any of the manufacturing smells in the machine. There we go. I did get these silicone mats for my freeze dryer trays, and I will be using these in the future. I just figured for this first batch, I'm just gonna put the bread on them, get them you know, do this process. I'm gonna clean the trays, and then when I go to do other types of foods, I will definitely be using these silicone mats. It is recommended to choose a dust-free location, or a location where you're not gonna have lots of dust, because of the way that the sides are designed with the vents. You wanna be sure that you're not sucking dust into these vents and that it's getting inside of there, because that will ruin your machine. So after I run this out in my garage, I'm hoping I can move this into my pantry area of my home. It's if I can make a space for it. I don't have a space for it at the moment. I have to create the space for it. But for this time being, and until I see exactly how loud the premium vacuum pump is, I did not want to bring this in my home and then overnight have a noisy machine keeping us awake all night. So we're gonna test this out, see how loud this actually is. And from there, we're gonna choose a location for our Harvest Right freeze dryer. My previous freeze dryer I did have out here in the garage, and I keep them covered with a sheet when not in use. And right now during the winter, we don't have our garage doors open, so we don't have dust in here. But come summertime, we open the doors frequently, and we live on a dirt road, so there's a lot of dust in the garage. We won't be operating our freeze dryer out here. I think by that point we'll have it indoors. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with this process and how much noise this makes. After 15 minutes, we are now ready to load our trays, and it's best if you can pre-freeze your food for 24 hours to make sure that it is completely frozen. I'm not pre-freezing this. This chamber is cold enough, it's gonna freeze it in a few hours. You wanna make sure your door is free of any lint or anything that will prevent it from securing to the vacuum chamber. Once this starts vacuuming, I'm gonna come back and check and make sure that there is a correct seal. The only thing that you wanna use is warm water and a cotton cloth on your door. I loaded my trays into the freeze dryer. I closed the drain valve. I'm gonna hit continue. And now it's freezing. I can also name my freeze dryer, and I will do that after this freeze drying session. Okay, this has been drying for an hour and 37 minutes. I just came out here to check on it and make sure that all the way around this has that seal. You can see it's sealed really well. And it's not very noisy. Compared to the last freeze dryer I had, this is very, very quiet. I'm standing here talking. This is what it sounds like with my normal voice. So I think this will be something that I can put inside and it won't really disturb the family. The last one made a loud sound. It was like, made a really loud, piercing sound, but this is very quiet. This is a very minimal noise. You know, it sounds like the air cutting on, or the refrigerator or dishwasher cutting on, the dryer or the washing machine. It's very minimal. So inside you can see the ice is accumulating on the walls of the chamber, and this will stop drying when it senses the temperature on the shelf is the correct temperature, and it will sense the food's dryness, and then we will come back and check it when it says it is finished drying. When the process is complete, you can choose to warm the trays. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna warm the trays before I pull them out of there, even though this actually isn't food I'm preserving for anything. And then we're gonna open the drain valve to vent. If I were here when the process was complete, immediately after the process completes, it automatically warms the trays. So I wasn't here when that happened, I was asleep. So next we're gonna open up this drain valve to allow the pressure back into the freeze dryer. And when you open the drain valve, make sure your bucket is empty. If there's water in the bucket and your hose sucks water back up in here when you open the drain valve, then you will ruin your food. You will get water back in the chamber. So I open the drain valve to vent. Okay, now I'm gonna open the chamber and remove the food. These trays aren't quite warm. They're still pretty cold, but I'm ready to get this thing defrosted because I have yogurt cereal bites, milk bars to put in here next. So we're gonna select defrost. And defrost time, 2 hours. Keep drain valve open, remove product from dryer, and close door. Continue. All right, we're gonna be defrosting. This bread is now bone dry, freeze dried bread. And if I would have used the silicone mats, I wouldn't have a mess on there, but I'm just gonna give these a quick scrub in the sink. And I'm not sure what to do with this bread. Should I toss it? I think I'm just gonna toss it and start my next batch. This Harvest Right freeze dryer is much more efficient than the previous freeze dryer I owned. And that is due in part to this premium vacuum pump, which makes this machine run much more efficiently. It runs quieter and it freeze dries much quicker than competitor brands. Because I've had experience with 2 brands of freeze dryers and this one outdoes the previous. So if that's something that you are looking for, a quieter machine that runs more efficiently, then this Harvest Right is exactly what you need for your home freeze drying needs. If you would like to know more about the Harvest Right freeze dryer, this is the size medium. You can learn everything there is to know about it with my affiliate link down below in this video's description. If you decide to purchase a Harvest Right freeze dryer, I would love it if you used my affiliate link because I get a small commission that helps support my channel and my family. It is an amazing appliance and I have really enjoyed using it here in my home. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next freeze drying video. I hope you have a great week. Bye.